Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. One line completely changed Arc 1 of Wings of Fire, and the series as a whole. It was through this piece of dialogue exchange in Book 4 that dropped a bombshell on everything we thought we knew. If you're a big fan of the series, you might already know what I'm referencing, and that's Morrowseer's big reveal. This video contains huge spoilers to the entirety of Arc 1 of Wings of Fire, so please take caution and leave now if you haven't finished. With the reveal of the prophecy being fake, nothing was ever the same, and through one line of dialogue, the biggest plot twist arose. Today, I'll be discussing how massive these few words were, why the twist is so memorable, and how it affected the series from that point forward. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons: DougLove95, 3 Moons, Citus Wild, Fizz, and Thistle. Thank you much for supporting me. Links to social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. On the contrary, I certainly can make my prophecy happen however I want, considering I'm the one who made it up in the first place. Any Wings of Fire fan who wasn't aware this moment was coming had their jaw on the floor. It's quite possibly one of the biggest moments in the series, and has gone down in the books' history as being iconic and brilliant. Even reading it now gives me chills. But to dive into why this is so massive and how it changed everything we knew at the time, we have to start by talking about the prophecy and its origin. Times were bleak. The 3 Sandwing sisters started a war that ravaged every kingdom, every tribe, and every dragon on Pyria. Their royal conflict took the lives of so many dragons for almost 2 decades. The time of the War of Ascending Succession was one of despair and hopelessness, dragons fighting in a battle they never even wished to be part of. Families were torn apart, and homes burned to the ground. Tribes began to hate each other, taking sides in the fight. There seemed like there would be no end to the war until the Nightwing prophecy. The Nightwings, one of Pyria's most mysterious and powerful tribes, released a prophecy into the world. Everyone knew of their foresight and their strength, and listened to its words with wide eyes. Copies of the text were soon everywhere on the continent, hope filling the hearts of dragons. The war was promised an end, and it would be one of peace. 5 dragonets would save the world, having been chosen by a greater destiny. The prophecy spread like wildfire, its good news changing everything and everyone. The Talons of Peace worked to find these prophecy dragonets when they were told to hatch. The Nightwings were like the saviors of dragons, bringing this peace in the form of a prophecy. When the war has lasted 20 years, the dragonets will come. When the land is soaked in blood and tears, the dragonets will come. And then later in the prophecy, 5 eggs to hatch on brightest night, 5 dragons born to end the fight. Darkness will rise to bring the light, the dragonets are coming. These words inspired the dragons hurt in the war, the ones who had lost so much, and the ones who would soon. 𝙈𝙤 and 𝙈𝙤𝙁 died for the cause, as did so many others. They risked everything to get the Dragonets of Destiny eggs to safety, so that they would one day rise above everything, and, aided by fate, save the world. Our protagonists of the first arc are these dragons. They're so young, but they've been told their whole lives that they're going to save everyone. They don't know all the details, but the future has that for them. The Nightwing said so, and even the most dangerous of dragons believe it deep in their hearts. The Knights of Destiny work through the events of the first 4 books with this hope in their minds. They can't lose. Foresight had told them so, and the world knew it. It filled them with pride and strength, and their purpose was so much higher. Everything they do is because they know they are destined to end this fight. Or at least, that last part is what everyone thought. The Dragonets of Destiny live by these words and this mindset, and as readers, we believe every word of it too. It encourages us and them, that an end to the war is coming by their talons. Magic said so! That's just what we're told. Morrowseer talked about how he made the Dragonets of Destiny, to which they argue against that. First, we think just like they did, believing this Nightwing to just be trying to get inside their heads. We made you. You Dragonets are only important because of us, and we can destroy you just as easily. I mean, yeah, he's probably just saying that because he was the dragon who got them all together, right? He was the one in the room when the prophecy was given. But on the very next page, all confident, trust, and faith, is lost. It's all gone. Everything we knew about the series was taken away from us in a few words. Morrowseer wasn't just inside their heads anymore. We know he's not lying when he says it this time. We realize we're the ones who were lied to, and our favorite characters, the dragons have been rooting for, hearing their stories. He says this: "On the contrary, I certainly can make my prophecy happen whenever I want, considering I'm the one who made it up in the first place." And with that, our hearts shatter. The dragonets are shaken. Everything they lived for is a lie. Everything we've read about wasn't destined to happen. There's no safety, no secure shield wrapped around them. There never was. There's no prophecy. It was all made up. And even worse, it wasn't created to put a genuine hope in the hearts of those who hear it, the ones who die for it, or the ones who live for it. Morrowseer follows this shocking reveal up with the explanation of how it came to be and its real intent. He just wants to use it to take over the rainforest, ridding dragons of their homes just so the Nightwings can have a new one. They wouldn't even ask, they just take. Wow. Most plot twists in fiction come across as pretty cool reveals, but this one? It's depressing. The dragonets feel like they've lost, or like they're meant to lose, just as everything they knew was fake, and everything we knew was too. How much of this change? Was none of it true? Without destiny on their sides, how would their fate really go? It hits us and the characters really hard. The dragonets lose faith. Luckily, Sunny brings that hope back into us when she realizes the truth. They did all of that without a prophecy, and they don't need words to decide what happens to them in the future of everyone. And with that, we actually end up seeing the prophecy come true, though not in the way it was intended. And though it was fake, its influence most definitely was not. The reveal of that being not real the whole time was a shocking one, and a good wake-up call. It honestly taught a good lesson within the story of Wings of Fire. We make choices. We don't have some mystical prophecy to guide us, and we don't need that. The dragonets are strong enough to still rise against the challenge, together, even when they knew they didn't have it set in stone that they'd survive this or end the war. Yet they still took that risk with their friends by their side. Wings of Fire is filled with many revelations, but this one has certainly gone down as the most memorable, and most important. It changed the way we look at everything, and moved the course of the story forever. But what do you guys think? What about this scene was your favorite part? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!